Right then, power in Fallout 4. Now, I don't know if it's just me, maybe somehow I missed it, but there doesn't seem to be a power tutorial in this game, which is a bit strange considering it's not the easiest thing to understand without being told. And I watched a few tutorials on it, but they all just seemed kind of rushed out and a bit incomplete and didn't really tell you everything or weren't very clear, so I thought I'd make one to try and simplify things for the basics of power. So, first thing, obviously generators are the source of your power. This small generator gives you 3 power, and then the bigger ones obviously give you more power. Quite simple. So if we hammer down a small generator, this will give you 3 power to use as you please. Now there's 2 different kinds of power required for things. There's things like this which just says requires and then a power symbol, which is powered by the vicinity of something. And then there's these things which has a number next to the power sign, which means it needs to use 1 power of the generator, and needs to be directly connected to the generator via a cable. And these things with just a power symbol need to be nearby something that gives off power in order to work, but I'll go over that in a sec. So I've got 3 lights that each require 1 power, so therefore that's going to use up all the power of my 3 power generator. Do you mind, mate? We're trying to shoot a video here, walking in front of the camera. Jesus Christ. So we've got our 3 lights, 1 power each. So you need to connect them up with a cable, press the appropriate attach wire button, attach them all up, and they will all indeed turn on. Okay, simple enough. Now if we add a 4th light into the mix and try to add that one on, one of the lights has gone out. So it's just simple maths. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3, so therefore we can't do any more than that. We tried to add 4 things to a 3 power generator. Not going to happen. Okay, so that's simple enough, you understand that. And also I'd advise you to store everything that you make rather than scrap it, because you really don't get a lot back when you scrap things. So always store stuff, because you'll probably want it again at a later date, and it will cost you a lot less. Well, it won't cost you anything because you've already made it, than if you have to remake it because you scrapped it. So always store your shit. Now, as for vicinity powered items, as I'm calling them, everything in connectors and switches gives off power. So imagine that it's shooting out power in all directions, and anything you put near it will be turned on. So you have to connect it up, of course. Now it's emitting power in all directions. Imagine there's a radius, a circle. I'm drawing a circle around the pylon now, and everything inside that circle will be powered by the pylon. And that's things that just have a power symbol for their requirement, not a power symbol and a number. Like these lights, these big lights that require a number, they have to be connected, as we just said, like so. Just connect this one up. Bang, that works by the power. Cool. If we place an item that just has a power symbol requirement, it will be powered simply by being nearby to something that gives off power. Anything in connectors and switches. So you can see, place this light and it's turned on. Not connected in any way, no wires connected to it. It's just powered because it's nearby to the pylon. If I take it out of the circle of range of this pylon, you'll see it turns off when it reaches the edge. Bang, it's gone out there. So that's the edge of the circle. That's as far as the pylon will emit energy. So it's quite a big range for the pylons. So all that is the basic gist of how power works. All this stuff in connectors and switches does the same thing. The large pylon obviously gives off a bigger range than the smaller one, and it doesn't have a number next to it, so it won't use up any of your precious generator power. And conduits do the same thing as pylons. They're just a bit more building friendly. Obviously you don't really want a pylon in the middle of the house, so if you hammer on a few conduits, and you can power as much of a building as you wish, as long as you connect it up. So if we take it from this pylon, connect it to the first one, connect it to the second, or let it glitch and then connect it to the second one, and connect it to the third one, and voila. So the entire front of this house is now powered because the conduits are emitting power in the same way that the pylons do. So if I run inside, smash down a bunch of these lights, industrial wall lights, if I put them down in range, bang, they come on. So just because they're near the conduits, they come on. If I put something outside of the range of the conduits, yeah, see those, so that's outside of the range of the conduit, that's not going to work, too far away. I'd need to put one maybe over the top of the house or through the house, but that might be a little bit too unsightly. And as far as I'm aware, you can have as many of these lights as you want, because they don't use up any of the power from the generator in terms of the numbers. You can literally just plaster this wall with 50 lights and it'll be fine. Or if you want to get yourself a TV so you can watch The Walking Dead, And you can plaster one of those down, but you can't watch The Walking Dead because it's just a police standby screen, so I don't even know why there's TVs. But you know, they look nice, if nothing else. And that is basically the gist of power in Fallout 4. And it's just a case then of figuring out ways to power things which don't look too ugly and work sufficiently. So you've got all these different conduits, you can put them kind of under things, or not apparently. Let me go on the other side, I can see what I'm doing then. So if I wanted to get the power going through this window, so I could power the other side of the house if I was going through the house, although I'd recommend just going over the top. Could put one, so we could put one on there, and then run a wire down, and then if we go and put one inside the house, bash one up there, and one over there so we can get to the other side of the house. Got to find the sweet spot, there we go. And there, okay, so there, it can't go through the wall, so you have to make sure there's a line of sight from each conduit. So I have to move this one around somewhere and put it about here. Go on, go on. There we go. That should work. There we go. So now we can power everything, get to the other side of the house, and you see that light's come on as well. That may have been powered by the other one. Actually, how was that powered? That light was on before I moved the other one. It's still on, and this conduit isn't powered. What the hell? Okay, that's confused me now. So that one's not connected, but it can't be given off power because it's not connected. Maybe it's being powered by this one over here. Okay, it was that one that was powering it. So just that slight extra distance by powering this one makes that light over there turn on. And there you go, that little bit of extra distance gave me a slight bit more house coverage to turn on all my lights. This is what I did when I was messing around with the power, so that's just a large pylon on top of a house, so everything underneath it gets powered. All the lights in here, the TV, it's all powered by the large pylon that's plonked on the top of this house. So that is how the power works in Fallout 4, and a few examples of how you can use it to power a building. There is all this stuff as well, like terminals and light boxes and different power connectors with relays and delays and tripwires and all this stuff. I haven't really looked into this too much yet. This is where it starts to get a little bit complicated, and I haven't ventured too far into that. So that's why this is just a basic guide for now. Perhaps when I get to know it a bit more, I'll do an advanced guide for all that stuff. And there is one more thing I should mention actually, which is really useful to know before I forget, is that you can connect generators up to create more power. So if I connect these two generators via a piece of wire, I've now got 6 power coming off these generators. So if I want to power more than 3 powers worth of lights, if I want to power 6 lights that require 1 power, then I can do that just following this one cable. So if something required 10 power, you could make 2 large generators which give 5 power each, link them up, and then send them to whatever it is that requires the 10 power, and then voila, you're sorted. And that is it. I will now shut my face and let you go play with your power items and try not to electrocute yourself. Thanks for watching.